Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining this deep dive with us.
It's good to be here.
Today, we're going to gently explore something I think touches, well, pretty much every life. This idea of karma, and maybe, just maybe, the possibility of finding some self-forgiveness within that. Let's think of this time together as a kind of quiet walk for the mind, yeah? A space just to observe, maybe, some inner landscapes without needing to judge them. Just seeing.
That's a lovely way to put it. Imagine, if you will, a lake inside you, perfectly still.
Okay.
Its surface reflects.
Well, your true nature, clear and undisturbed. Now, picture dropping just a tiny pebble into that water.
Right.
Notice those ripples spreading out. Every action, every word, even, the thoughts you hold on to, they all create these ripples in your life, in others' lives. These moments, they might seem small, but they carry weight, don't they? Real consequences.
That really hits home, doesn't it? You can probably think of times, I know I can, where a quick word or a choice made without much thought created effects that just lingered.
It makes you think about regret, those moments where you feel that weight, the ripples you caused. How do we even begin to navigate those feelings, that sense of responsibility?
Well, I think it's really vital to understand that karma, at its core, isn't some cosmic judge handing out points or penalties.
Right, not punishment.
Not punishment, no. It's simpler and maybe more profound. It's just cause and effect unfolding.
Cause and effect.
And grasping that, really getting it, holds incredible power, I believe. It shifts you from feeling like you're just being tossed around by fate.
Yeah, like a leaf in the wind.
To recognizing yourself as an active creator, an active participant in shaping your own experience.
That feels like a huge shift. Instead of life just happening to you, you start seeing your own hand in how things unfold. It pulls you away from that feeling of being a victim, maybe, towards acknowledging your own agency, your part in the patterns.
Exactly. And when you really take hold of that principle, cause and effect stories like Angulimala's, they take on this deeper resonance.
Angulimala.
Yeah.
The bandit with the garland of fingers.
That's the one. A man who walked a path of, well, immense harm. His past was incredibly violent.
Yeah.
Yet, through an encounter, through turning inward, he underwent this incredible transformation, became a respected, peaceful presence.
That story, it feels like such a powerful beacon of hope.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone who seemed so lost, so deep in a harmful past, could actually find a way to change. It suggests that no matter how heavy our own past actions feel, there's always a path forward.
And what's really illuminating about his journey is that he didn't, erase his past. He couldn't.
No.
He faced it. He transformed its meaning by embracing compassion, stillness, mindful awareness. And this speaks directly to why self-forgiveness is often so difficult for us.
How so?
In Buddhist thought, we talk about upadana, clinging, attachment.
To things, like possessions.
Well, yes, but it's broader than that. We cling to emotions too, to our sense of self, to the stories we tell ourselves, especially those stories soaked in guilt.
Oh, that makes so much sense. You get attached to the story of your mistake. The guilt becomes part of your identity almost.
Precisely.
It feels like carrying a heavy load all the time, dragging the weight of the past.
Imagine just for a moment you're actually carrying a basket, and it's filled with stones.
Okay.
Each stone is a past action you regret. Feel that weight. Now, here's the fascinating part. You realize you're the one choosing to carry it.
No one's making me.
No one is forcing you. Self-forgiveness, really, it starts when you recognize your own power to gently, mindfully set that basket down.
So, okay, how do you actually do that? How do you loosen the grip when that guilt feels so tight, so ingrained?
Mindfulness meditation offers a pathway. It's about cultivating a gentle awareness right here, right now. You create a little space between you and the thoughts, the emotions swirling around. When you sit quietly, just noticing your breath, you can see guilt arise without immediately becoming it.
So not identifying with the feeling.
Exactly. Think of it like watching clouds drift across the sky of your mind. Some are dark, heavy, others light, fleeting. But the sky itself, your awareness remains unchanged.
Okay.
Mindfulness lets you see guilt as just a temporary mental state, not the absolute truth about who you are.
That image, watching clouds, that's helpful. But starting out, it can feel a bit abstract. How do you, practically begin?
It can be very simple.
Yeah.
Just bringing your attention to your breath. Find a quiet spot, sit comfortably, gently focus on the feeling of air coming in, going out.
Okay.
Thoughts will come, feelings will bubble up. They always do.
Right.
Just acknowledge them softly. No judgment. Thinking or guilt. Then gently guide your attention back
Yeah.
to the breath. Even just a few minutes each day. It starts creating that space.
Creating that inner space.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels like it could be a real turning point. Are there other ways, maybe more tangible things one can do to actively work on releasing regrets?
Yes, absolutely. There are ways to engage more directly. One practical exercise involves a symbolic release.
Okay.
Take some quiet time. Write down your regrets. Be honest. Be specific. Get them onto paper. Then find a safe way, very important, safely to burn that paper. As you watch the flames consume the words, visualize those burdens lifting, dissolving.
Like letting them go into smoke?
Exactly. It draws on ancient purification practices. Fire is transformation. It's a physical act reinforcing your mental intention to release the past's hold.
I can see how the physical part makes it feel more real, concrete.
Yes.
It underscores that forgiveness isn't about pretending it didn't happen, but changing your relationship to the memory.
Precisely. And, looking at Engalimala again, but through a modern lens, his story aligns quite well with what psychologists now call post-traumatic growth.
Post-traumatic growth, how does that connect?
Well, his past clearly involved trauma, both inflicting it and likely experiencing it. But his journey shows how even profound adversity, immense mistakes, can become a catalyst, a trigger for significant personal evolution, for finding wisdom.
That's fascinating, seeing that link between ancient stories and modern psychology. It reinforces the idea that the difficult stuff, the things we carry, they can pave the way for growth if we approach them with intention, with awareness.
Which brings us beautifully to the practice of metta, loving-kindness meditation.
Ah, yes, metta.
It's so crucial here. It's a direct way to cultivate self-compassion, which is really the soil where self-forgiveness grows.
So how does it work?
It involves gently repeating phrases of kindness, of well-wishing, and you start with yourself. Phrases like, may I be filled with loving kindness, may I be well, may I be peaceful and at ease.
It sounds simple, but I imagine it can feel awkward, especially if self-criticism is strong. Directing kindness inward when you feel you don't deserve it. That sounds challenging.
It often is, you're right, that's a very common experience. But the key is the consistency, the intention. Even if warm feelings don't bubble up right away, just repeating the phrases gently, consistently. It starts to soften that inner landscape over time.
Like watering a seed.
Exactly. And research actually backs this up now. Regular metta practice. It's shown to increase positive emotions, reduce depressive feelings, enhance overall well-being. From a Buddhist view, you're planting seeds of positive karma to counteract the old negative patterns.
So practically speaking, if someone wants to try this, how do they start?
Gently. Start with yourself. Maybe just 5 minutes a day. Find a comfortable spot. Maybe close your eyes softly. Take a few breaths to settle. Then begin repeating the phrases and adapt them. Use words that resonate with you. For self-forgiveness, maybe try, may I forgive myself for the times I've stumbled. Or may I find peace with my imperfections. May I learn and grow from my challenges.
Okay.
The main thing is consistency. Not aiming for some perfect feeling every single time. Just showing up for yourself.
I appreciate that emphasis on consistency over perfection. It
Right.
takes the pressure off, allows for a gentler approach.
It does. And alongside these deep practices from the Buddhist path, modern psychology offers really valuable tools too, like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT.
Right, CBT. How does that fit in with forgiveness?
Well, CBT is brilliant at helping you identify and then challenge those negative, often distorted thinking patterns, the ones that fuel guilt and shame about past actions.
So those automatic negative thoughts, like, I'm a terrible person because I did X, CBT gives you ways to actually question them, to look at them differently.
Precisely. That thought, I am fundamentally flawed because of what I did. CBT encourages you to pause. Ask yourself, is that really true? Absolutely, 100% true. Are there any other ways to see this?
Looking for nuance.
Exactly. Questioning those automatic thoughts creates space for more balanced, realistic views of yourself and the situation.
That sounds incredibly practical. Is there a simple exercise someone could try related to that?
Definitely. Take a moment, maybe with a journal. Write down a specific belief you hold about a past mistake.
Okay.
Then draw 2 columns. In one, list all the evidence you can think of that supports that negative belief. Be honest. In the other column, list evidence that contradicts it, or at least offers a different perspective. Maybe things you learned, maybe ways you've changed since then. Often, when you look at it objectively like this, you find the evidence for the harsh belief isn't as solid as it felt. It helps challenge that black and white thinking.
It's like bringing some gentle logic to those really emotional, sometimes irrational feelings of guilt.
It is.
Yeah.
And if we go back to that image of the still lake,
Yeah.
you can't undo the first ripple from the stone you dropped. That action happened,
Right.
but your thoughts and actions now, they're like new currents you're introducing into the water. You can choose to add currents of kindness, of understanding, of self-compassion, and gradually that reshapes the whole inner environment.
That's a beautiful way to think about it. It really highlights your power in the present moment, how you can influence what comes next.
Consider also the Japanese art of kintsugi.
Kintsugi, repairing broken pottery with gold.
Exactly. Instead of hiding the cracks, they're highlighted. They become part of the object's beauty, its history. It's such a powerful metaphor for relating to our own imperfections. Your wounds, your mistakes. They don't have to diminish you. They can become integral parts of your unique story. Signs of resilience, of character, of learning.
I really connect with that. Reframing flaws not as shame, but as, well, as part of what makes you you. Evidence of the journey, the healing.
Indeed. And it's so important to remember, I think, that forgiveness, especially self-forgiveness, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. We're all interconnected. When you extend forgiveness to yourself, it creates ripples too, positive ones. It influences how you relate to others. It contributes to a wider sense of healing, of peace.
It's like untying a knot inside yourself that maybe was also tangling up your relationships, your connection outwards.
Wonderfully put. Think about a time someone forgave you. How did that feel?
Liberating. It often makes you want to be more forgiving yourself, actually.
Exactly. It inspires us towards others and often eventually towards ourselves.
It really does. Experiencing that grace can definitely encourage you to extend it inward.
And one final but really crucial point about forgiveness. It's not about excusing harm. It's not pretending things didn't have consequences.
That's important. It's not letting yourself or others off the hook necessarily.
No, it's about acknowledging the pain, yours, others, seeing it clearly, and then making a conscious choice to move forward with intention. Every breath you take, it's a new beginning, a fresh chance to choose differently.
So acknowledging the past, but not letting it define your present or dictate your future. It's an active choice. Stepping forward, unburdened.
Exactly. Now, imagine stepping back into that quiet forest we mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Each tree, maybe representing a past mistake, might seem daunting at first, but hidden within that very forest lies treasure, wisdom, clarity, ultimately a sense of inner freedom.
So the challenges, the mistakes, they aren't just obstacles. They're actually part of the path to finding something valuable within.
Indeed. And if you look through the lens of, say, dependent origination in Buddhism, you see these mistakes aren't just isolated failures. They're part of a huge web of causes and conditions.
Right. It helps loosen that grip of self-blame, maybe.
Yeah.
Seeing it's not all on you in isolation.
It reminds you you're part of a much bigger picture. Your actions arise from countless factors. Consider the simple parable. The monk spilling tea, it seems like waste, a mistake.
Yeah.
But the master points out how even that spilled tea can nourish the earth. Our perceived failures, too, can nourish our understanding, our soul, if we let them.
That's a powerful analogy. Reframing mistakes not as deficits, but as potential nourishment for the journey ahead.
So as we gently bring this deep dive towards a close, let's hold on to these key insights. Your mistakes, they can be invaluable teachers.
Right.
That heavy feeling of guilt. It's not permanent, it's transient, like a cloud.
Okay.
And ultimately, you aren't defined by past errors. You're defined by the choices you make right now, in this moment.
Those are powerful takeaways. It feels like an encouragement to approach our own paths with curiosity and kindness instead of just judgment, seeing the potential for growth.
Perhaps, just for a moment now, wherever you are listening, just pause. Take a breath. Visualize those gentle ripples in the lake of your life. The challenges, yes, but also the opportunities. And know deep down that you possess the inner resources, the inherent strength to transform guilt into grace, into understanding.
That's a really gentle and powerful invitation to carry forward. Thank you so much for this insightful journey today.
Thank you. It has been a truly meaningful exploration.